It's the Scotty Myers Show.
Hey, welcome to the show this week. Hopefully you're having a fantastic week so far. Special hello to everyone that's listening to us on the iHeartRadio app. We've recently been added to that app, so just another place that the Scotty Myers Show podcast can now be heard. I will find a way into your ear hole somehow. Maybe even with some courtesy spit, so I slide right in. But I'm just saying, I'm going to wiggle my way in there one way or another. So thanks to iHeartRadio for adding us, and to everybody listening on that app, thanks for joining us. So I've been training for a 10K run, and that 10K run happened on Sunday. And my goal was pretty simple. This is my third year running the Blue Nose 10K, and every year I just want to be faster than I was the year before. So this year, to be faster, I was 58 minutes and change last year. I had to be 57 minutes and change this year. And I was kind of psyched out a little bit going into this run mentally, because the last, I want to say almost kilometer of the 10K was all uphill and steep hills. So I was kind of freaking out, going, if I'm not on a good pace and I get to that last bit of the race, am I going to be able to keep time, or definitely won't be able to make up time? So I could have been a little screwed come the end of it. But I am happy to say, even with the ridiculous uphill challenge at the end of that run, I did it in 57 minutes and 36 seconds. So did what I set out to do, which is an amazing feeling. And this year, it's a little different, because the 10K this year is just the first step in my training towards a half marathon, which is coming up in January at Walt Disney World. I figure if I'm going to run a half marathon anywhere, it might as well be the happiest place on earth. So really looking forward to that. So now I just have to keep running, make sure I keep up with my running throughout the rest of the summer and fall and winter, and heading into the half marathon. And one way I found to do this, and if you're like me and you're a bit of a geek, you may want to get in on this as well. Disney's doing this thing called the Virtual Run Series. So basically for June, July, and August, you have to run 5K, but then you get a wicked medal, and the medal is celebrating Marvel's 80th anniversary this year. So there's a Black Panther medal, a Captain Marvel medal, and an Iron Man medal. So all you got to do is go to Run Disney to sign up for that. I've already signed up. Looking forward to getting those medals in the mail. So that catches you up with the running situation. The other marathon that's been going on has been the home renos around here. Still not done. As I record this, I still don't have a bathroom next to my bedroom right now. It looks like it might almost be done, but it's kind of felt like it should almost be done for a few days now. So getting very, very frustrated with that. Just trying to not lose my shit. Partly because I don't have a bathroom to lose it in, but also just because it's not going to benefit anybody. But I will say I'm getting frustrated to the point that I might go full cranky monkey and just start flinging feces at the contractors. Now, every now and then you hear a piece of audio and you can't believe that it's real. And from everything I've been able to look up, this audio is very, very real, and it's phenomenal. One guy called in to a local television station in Pennsylvania. They had a line where you could call and leave your opinion on things. And so this guy had a theory as to why the weather has been so crazy in Pennsylvania recently. Have a listen.
We didn't have tornadoes here until we started putting into traffic circles. Because on the count of, you want to know why? When people go round and round in circles, it causes disturbance in the atmosphere and causes tornadoes.
How amazing is that? Like, that guy never opened a science textbook in his life. Tornadoes. You got to watch out for tornadoes. They're worse than tornadoes. Tornadoes are the worst. But this guy, I got to figure if he had children or the grandchildren came over, nobody was allowed to go outside and play like Ring Around the Rosie and run around in a circle, because that would cause a tornado. My God. To think that guy, because he's complaining about roundabouts on the road, he has a driver's license. Just let that sink in for a second. And I can disprove his theory, not only because it's very stupid, but also where I live in Halifax, the city here is obsessed with roundabouts. Every time there's a new intersection being put in somewhere, it's, what are we going to do? Roundabout. And so if they cause tornadoes, I'm fairly certain at this point, Nova Scotia just would have launched itself into orbit and we would be on the moon by now. Tornaders! So on to the off story of the week. Of course, offs, oh for fuck's sakes. It's just a story. When you see the headline, that's your initial reaction. And when I saw the headline, Justin Bieber challenges Tom Cruise to a fight in the octagon, I simply went, oh, for fuck's sake. His tweet from Justin Bieber, the Biebs, he said, I want to challenge Tom Cruise to a fight in the octagon. Tom, if you don't take this fight, you're scared and you will never live it down. Who's willing to put on the fight? And then he tagged Dana White from the UFC. Of course, now listen, Dana White would love to make this fight happen because who in the fuck would not buy this on pay-per-view? Honestly, I would love to watch this. It would be the dumbest thing to ever pay money to see, but I would still do it. And everybody was thinking like Justin Bieber's got to be joking, but he hasn't followed up with any tweets or anything like that, indicating that it's a joke. So unless he's gone full like Andy Kaufman level humor, he might really want to fight Tom Cruise. And I don't know why you would want to fight Tom Cruise. Really, his movies are pretty good overall. He does his own stunts. I don't know if Justin Bieber's aware of that. Tom Cruise is a tough dude. Like, he's a little guy, but he's a tough dude. I wouldn't want to fight him. And then on top of that, Justin Bieber's 25. Tom Cruise is 56. So there's a 31-year-old age difference between the two. And that has led to now this new viral trend that people are basically challenging a celebrity that's 31 years old, older than you, to a fight. And it's kind of releasing some odd choices and some hilarious ones. There was one woman who was extremely excited that she now had a chance to kick Sally Field's ass. Sally Field, 72 years old. A few guys have challenged Jeff Goldblum. I would not do that. He's lanky, and I think he would fight dirty. Jeff Goldblum's a biter. Let's put it that way. That guy's going to bite you somewhere. Somebody challenged Sophia Loren to a fight. But then there's some celebrities that you obviously wouldn't want any part of, right? If you're 36 years old and you do this exercise, one of your potential opponents could be Liam Neeson. Nobody wants to fight Liam Neeson. Dude trained Anakin Skywalker and Batman. You don't want any piece of Liam Neeson. So I was curious who would be on my list that I could fight. People that are 73 years old. And there's some interesting choices on the list. Some of my potential opponents include Neil Young. I wouldn't want to fight Neil Young. I like Neil Young's music. Henry Winkler, the Fonz. Who would want to fight Fonzie? Dude turned on a jukebox by punching it. I have a feeling he would knock you out by punching you. John Lithgow. I think John could be a tough fight. Tim Curry. No way do I want to fight Tim Curry. Dude's too cool. Tim Curry, I would lay down for Tim Curry. Van Morrison, the singer. You know what? He does deserve a good, strong right hook for Brown Eyed Girl. But other than that, maybe we'll let him live. The one that's on my list that I've decided to call out is Steve Martin. Now, here's the thing. I'm a fan. I like Steve Martin. But my wife has an odd crush on Steve Martin, and I, quite frankly, don't need the competition out there. So, Steve, you're the guy that I've picked to challenge. Octagon, in the cage, 42-year-old me, 73-year-old you. And I'm telling you right now, Steve, You can bring your 3 amigos along if you want to or not. They're going to be sending bits and pieces of you home in planes, trains, and automobiles. You're going to get all of me, Steve. It's going to be your own personal little shop of horrors. And I'm going to put a beating on you worse than the reviews you got for Pink Panther. And you know how much that hurt. So be prepared, Steve. I'm sending you to your blue heaven. On to the geek news of the week, and we got a crap ton of it. E3 going on right now. Lots of crazy game announcements. We got a full trailer for the Marvel Avengers game. Looks pretty good. Some of the character models are a little odd, especially Captain America, but overall the gameplay looks pretty sweet. But I think so far the biggest news coming out of E3 is Microsoft confirming the new system. Don't know its exact name yet, but its code name is Project Scarlet, and it is going to be hitting stores holiday 2020. That's a lot closer than a lot of people thought we were going to get the successor to the Xbox One. It's going to be somewhere around 4 times more powerful than Xbox One. And word is they are going to release kind of 2 different models, kind of how they have the Xbox One X now and the Xbox One S. Very similar plan going forward for whatever this system will be named. And Halo Infinite is going to be launching right around side of it. So that's exciting. I love the Halo games. Master Chief, one of the coolest characters in video game history. So I would imagine they'll have some sort of launch bundle, which will have the new Xbox and Halo Infinite in it, just making it very easy to buy for. So start saving your pennies now. Both of those, again, sometime in the holiday season of 2020. Moving on to movie news, Quentin Tarantino's been doing some press recently as it's starting to ramp up for his new movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And someone asked him if he still planned on making a Star Trek movie. He had said a couple of years ago that he wanted to do one. And apparently that's still in the works. And someone asked him if his Star Trek movie would be rated R. And he emphatically said, oh yeah, it's an R-rated movie. If I do it, it's going to be R-rated. Just sit back and think about that for a second. An R-rated Star Trek movie. It actually sounds pretty badass. You know, like how violent the Klingon culture is. We could actually see like the blood and guts of that culture and that species in the Star Trek realm. And I don't know who the characters will be. I don't know if he's going to have like Spock and Kirk, or if he's going to have new characters. But if he has Captain Kirk, we could actually finally get to see him bone one of those alien chicks. I mean, we've known he's been, his mission was to boldly go where no man had gone before, literally. And now we could see that in an R-rated movie. And don't give me that look. You want to see it just as much as I do. Switching over to Marvel news. The latest Marvel-related film, X-Men Dark Phoenix, hit at the box office, and it has been a disappointment. First X-Men movie to not open at number 1 in the box office. And because of this lukewarm at best reaction to the latest X-Men installment, Marvel Studios, not in any hurry to bring the X-Men back to the big screen and to incorporate them into the MCU. People are saying there's no rush. They will come back. And when they do, they plan on using it to extend Marvel's run for another 10 years. So I think what they kind of want to let them do is sit, let everybody forget about this run of X-Men movies, and then come back in a while. And I also think it helps them out if they wait a little while, because right now, if they brought them back, it's very easy to recast Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and he has kind of said he doesn't want to do that. So if you wait a while, suddenly Hugh becomes too old to play Wolverine, and then you have no choice but to cast a new one. So it makes their life a little bit easier by doing that as well. So we'll have to wait to see the Avengers and the X-Men team up. And speaking of an Avenger, Paul Rudd is not 100% sure that we're going to get an Ant-Man 3. Now, I would say that the movies have done exceptionally well. I doubt that they don't want to make another Ant-Man, but Paul Rudd not too convinced, and he's basically telling fans to campaign for it. Get online and talk about how much you want a third installment in the Ant-Man franchise, and we need a campaign to make it happen. So if you really want to see another Ant-Man, post on Instagram, Twitter, whatever you got to do, just mention that you want another one. I think 2 is enough. They're probably my least favorite Marvel ones, so I'm good with 2, but if you want a third, you have to do your part to make it happen. Switching over to DC, it's a weird week for DC. After last week, we got that cancellation of Swamp Thing, and now we've had a couple of episodes out, and the reviews are kind of even better than we thought they were going to be. People are loving Swamp Thing. But it turns out it was tax cuts and finances that cut Swamp Thing short. But that does not stop the rumor mill from flying about what could have been with the Swamp Thing television show. Apparently, next season, or maybe a future season, but at some point in the run of Swamp Thing, there was a plan to team him up with Justice League Dark in the TV show, which makes me so sad that they canceled that. I would love, as Swamp Thing is awesome. If you haven't watched it, it is amazing. But I would have loved to have seen him team up with Constantine and Zatanna and Deadman, all the members of Justice League Dark. That would have been a dream come true for me. And I know we were supposed to get a Justice League Dark movie a few years ago. Maybe that's how DC makes it up to us. Give us that Justice League Dark movie and make it good. Let Del Toro do it again, and all will be forgiven. And one more little bit of DC news, and that's with the main man himself, Lobo. Of course, he's appearing on Krypton, Season 2, and apparently people are loving Lobo on Krypton, at least the higher-ups at Sci-Fi, because they have announced that a Lobo TV series is in the works, a spin-off from Krypton. So that's a good indication of how Krypton is treating Lobo. At the same time, you may remember a while ago, Michael Bay was announced to be working on a Lobo movie. Well, that's still in the works. That news came out back in February of last year, and it seems like things are still moving forward on Michael Bay making a Lobo movie. We don't know who will play the main man himself, but it's a good day to be a Lobo fan because there's lots of Lobo headed your way. That will do it for this week's episode. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio. BlastTheRadio.com streams the show every Thursday morning, and also check them out for some great music. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. They go up every Thursday morning. And also leave us a rating and review wherever you're listening to us. It helps promote the show a little bit more. So until we talk again, have a great week.